Hey guys, welcome back. It is your boy Bernardo from the BTNHD and the server room. Yes, every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm checking out the stream right now. It looks like it's healthy, it's green, it's receiving content. I want to make sure it's starting with no problem because I want you guys to enjoy the show. Yes, we are in number 6, already 6 weeks strong. I can't believe we've been doing this for 6 weeks. And a lot of you have been tuning in. God bless you guys for those individuals have, tuned in every Saturday at the same time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So today we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff to cover. And, I think we have within the agenda at the bottom of the video, I gave you guys like a rundown of what we're going to do, somewhat. 11 things to do. And before we start, as always, make sure you guys follow me at Twitter at BJ Tech News, Facebook.com, BJ Tech News. My Instagram, BJ Tech News. Just follow me because I'm always updating. I've been debating whether or not I'm going to do episode 7 for next week. I might have to take a little vacation. But again, if you guys are following me, I will shoot an update so you guys can know, if I'm not going to do it for next week or not. All right, so I'm going to remove the lower third. I'm going to remove the big guy, and I'm going to have it here because we got a lot to cover because we are installing Sccm 1703 technical preview. And I want to use MDT to help me out for some of the stuff. So first things first, at the bottom of the video, I gave you guys the notes. Inside the notes, you're going to see 2 batch files, a VB script, and a text file. Yeah, the text file is all the commands that I'm going to be using. The 2 batch files are stuff that I'm going to be customizing, like custom scripts that I'm going to be pushing throughout the deployment. And the VBS is my little file that I like to use to join the domain. Okay. Now, for those individuals that are joining, make sure you leave a comment. If you have the power and the ability to add a comment, say hi, and let me know where you guys from. I would like to know how far this show is going. How far is this show going out there in the world? For those that are joining in, God bless you. Thank you for joining so much. Make sure you download those files because that's what we're going to cover. So let's get started. So I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I've done within MDT to get myself prepped up for this video. So we're going to open up our workbench, and within my workbench, I did a lot of customization. Not a lot, but I did some customization within our golden image task sequence that we did because I'm using the Windows Server 2016 that we captured. Remember, we pushed out like Visual C++ runtime stuff. We enabled .NET framework within the task sequence. We pushed that stuff out during a deployment, and we captured it. I'm using that captured image, okay? So if I double-click on this task sequence that we did maybe 3 or 4 shows ago, we go to task sequence, and I go inside install. We're going to install operating system. You guys are going to see my reference. This is the same name that I gave that captured image. So I'm using that, okay? Now, a couple of things that I did within this task sequence is I did a settings local DNS. And that's the batch file that you guys are going to find within the zip file. Now, if you guys are wondering what the hell that is, I created a BTNHD folder within the script folder. So if I go inside the File Explorer and I go in my C drive, and you're going to locate wherever you drop your deployment share. Side scripts, I created a folder called BTNHD. This is where I drop all my custom stuff. And if I right click on this guy right here, I go to edit. What's going to happen is using a net SH interface IP SetDNS. Now this might change in your environment. For me, because I'm doing everything inside a virtual environment, Ethernet 0 is the name of the NIC card. Static, and I want to assign that DNS to this because this DNS number is my Active Directory. All right. It might change for you, so you probably might have to customize the bat file if you want to use this approach. It could be like a LAN area connection. I think I use this for my environment wise when I'm dealing with workstations, and this changes. But for the virtual environment that I'm on right now, I have to use Ethernet 0. So that's just basically going to set the DNS for that machine. The next thing that I did is I created a VMware tools package, and I'm deploying it within my Windows Server 2016 reference image, and I'm doing a restart because the VMware tools won't work until you do a restart, and then I'm doing the join domain. So the join domain again is going inside the script folder, inside the BTNHD folder that I created, and I'm going to show you guys right now the file. I'm going to right click and go to edit. I use this a lot. So the only things that you guys could probably change in your environment for it to work properly is the string domain, the string password, and the string user. These are the 3 things that you could change within your environment for this to work properly. Again, I tested this out within Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and Server 2016, which you guys are going to see pretty soon, and it works fine for me. I'm going to close that up, and I'm going to go back inside the task sequence. So again, this guy right here, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I want you guys to see. Let me see if I can zoom in. Excellent. So yeah, so it's going inside this, it's calling out this command line. It's doing the cscript.exe. It's calling the folder, %sign. I gave it a, I like to create a folder within the script folder and just drop everything in there, and I'm just calling the VBS. Now the next thing that I did a restart, because I want, once the domain join is successful, it restarts the machine. Once it restarts, it starts doing the installation with the application. Now, the installation of the applications, you could customize it here even more, so you don't have to touch anything during the deployment time. But I'm going to pick which applications I want to be deployed for this Windows Server 2016. Again, we are deploying Sccm, so that means I'm going to be building a SQL database server and a Server 2016 machine that we're going to be using to install our Sccm. But there's a catch for that Sccm server. Just wait. And then the BTNHD ImgStamp. Now, I like to create like an image stamp. It's like a stamp indicating that the machine has been imaged, and that text file has the date and time. It's just basically say how long. I don't know. I like using it because I like to go back, go back into the machine and say how long was this machine? What was the last time this machine was imaged? Okay, it was imaged 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, 2 years ago. So it's like I don't know. It's like a little, I don't know. I call it the timestamp for me. But I gave you guys, I'm going to do Control F. I gave you guys the copy of that as well within the zip folder. So I'm going to edit. And I set the cookie as this. It's creating a folder. You can change it to wherever you want. It's creating a folder called BTNHD, installs inside the C drive. If it's not there, it's going to make it. It's gonna echo the cookie, and it's gonna drop the cookie there. Okay. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's really up to you. I've seen customizations like you customize the OEM or you customize the system location with a bunch of information like the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 and the technical number if you need to contact technicians and stuff. I've seen that in the past, and I've done that as well. But for this show, we're not going to do that. So all this stuff, these 3 files are inside that zip folder. So just get a copy of it if you guys want to follow or you want to use it in your environment. Okay, so back inside the task sequence. So those are the only things that I've done so far within the task sequence. And I'm going to apply that. And okay. And within, I'm going to right click inside our deployment, go to properties. I didn't really do much within the rules. Everything is the same. I think the only thing that I did was took away skip applications because I want to pick the applications that I want from my Server 2016 to be pushed to. So that's the only thing that I did. And the capture thing is still there. I can actually say yes for that, but I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to cancel that. And now the good stuff. So within the applications, hopefully you guys understand how to create applications, how to import all that good stuff. If not, just go inside the channel. I got videos on that, or leave a comment after this show is done because the live chat disappears. So you got to make sure that when the show is completely done and is on the site, go back hit me up with a question, and it's there, and I can follow up with you guys. So I created a Windows ADK 1703. This is what the special sauce is at with the SCCM, because when you're installing SCCM, you need the latest ADK, right? Because we are installing SCCM 1703, we need to have within that server that we're installing SCCM to have ADK 1703. So I created a package. Package is very self-explanatory. All you're doing is pointing to this, and you're probably saying to yourself, how did you get this? Do not worry, because within that zip folder, I gave you guys the secret sauce. I gave you guys everything. So within the folder, you're going to see a Windows ADK silent install shortcut that's going to take you to the Microsoft site. Believe it or not, there is a way to install this guy silently. If you do this command, I'm going to show you guys right now. Where are we? Right here. If you guys do this command, it's going to install all the features by default. But if you like to choose what features you want, this parameter right here is going to get a little long. And within the site, if you go right here, ADK setup command line syntax, if you click on that, it's going to take you to the site, and it's going to give you better explanation rather than me breaking everything down. Just go to the site, and you go all the way down to the feature part, and you're able to tell it which features you want. But if you tell it to do the following, /features. Let me zoom in so you guys can see a little bit. Control 4. So if you guys do this right now, if you guys do this parameter within this exe /features plus /q. Q is going to be silent. The plus is just going to add everything as the default. Okay, so that's how I'm installing Windows 10 ADK built 1703 within the server. Right? Because I'm going to be building 2 machines, and I want everything to be automated. One less thing to do, right? So the next thing that I'm doing is we need a SQL database. I don't want to install SQL within my SCCM server. So I'm building another virtual machine, and I'm installing SQL within MDT. Yes! Believe it or not, you can actually install SQL within a command line, and it's a crap load of parameters that you have to do. Now, for this video, the parameters that I have, again, is the same approach, importing an application, but this is it right here. I mean, it's really long. Again, the text file with the notes have all this information. So you guys could copy and paste this. This is the only thing that you probably might have to change is when you get up to, there's a part, like it accepts the license and terms and enables what it needs to be enabled for. It enables the SQL Latin 1 General CP1. It enables all this stuff. This entire command line is to install SQL. But the only thing you probably might have to change, you might have to change your ISSV account, but I'm leaving it as the NT authority system, which is the default. But there's a section within here, I'm trying to locate it, that says my name, and you guys probably want to change that to what's going to fit in your environment. Again, this stuff is already within the notes, so all you got to do is just copy and paste into the command and you're good to go. There it goes. So the only thing you probably might have to change, I added myself BTNHD, which is my domain administrator, built-in /administrators. I added myself, so you probably might have to change that to something else. That's really up to you. But this is the command. It's awesome. It installs everything that I need. It gets it up and running. Again, one less thing that I want to do. So I'm gonna close this up, and I'm gonna do Control F. And we are going to start creating our 2 virtual machines, our SQL database and our SCCM, with those 2 applications right now. So let's go inside the servers. I'm going to right click, go to new virtual machine. And we're going to go next. And let's do the SQL first. So I'm going to call it bj-SQL. It's very ordinary, right? I'm going to drop it. Let's drop it in D. Doesn't matter. I'm going to drop both virtual machines inside our data store, D. This is going to be a server 2016. I'm going to click next on that. I'm going to do a NAT network. Click next. And I'm going to give this guy 100 gigs. I'm going to leave it as thick provision lazy 0 and hit finish on that. And while that's creating, I'm going to right click again on our resource pool virtual machine again and go to next. BJ, you guessed it, BJ-SCCM, right? Next. I'm going to drop it on the D. Click on next on that. And 2016 64-bit. This is going to be a NAT as well. And I'm going to give this guy 100. Let's give it 200. And next and finish. Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to right click on our SQL. Going to open that guy up. And this guy is done. I'm going to right click on our SCCM. Go to open that. And minimize this. So I'm going to start you. I'm going to go inside here. I'm going to F12 so I could pixie boot. Awesome. So that's good. And let's start our SQL as well. And we're going to pixie boot as well in here so we can start the process. Both virtual machines are going to be pushed out with our reference Windows Server 2016 that we captured, I believe, 2 or 3 shows ago. It already has the Visual C++ within it. It already has the .NET framework, so it has one less roles and features that I have to install for the SCCM. And once we start this process up, again, I have my notes. As always, I always have my notes. This little book is always with me because I'm always writing stuff down. And I have all the steps of what we're supposed to be doing. Once these 2 virtual machines start up, the next thing that we need to do is define a group policy, firewall ports for our infrastructure. I already did that behind the scenes, but I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Plus, I already created an OU, core SCCM. And within that SCCM OU, that's where we're going to drop these 2 machines. Well, I'm going to do it the manual way. I'm going to drag it and drop them in there. But you're able to configure it to go straight in there. So SCCM is already up. We're going to pick out golden image. And we're going to click next on that. And the computer name. Computer name is something that I told it to show up for the deployment settings because I wanted to change the name. So when it adds it to the domain controller, it's one less thing that I need to do within the server manager is change the name. So we're going to click on next on that because that is our SCCM. And for our SCCM, we want to install Windows 10 ADK version 1703. And click on next. We're not capturing it. Again, you could tell your deployment settings INI file to disable this. You're going to click next, and it's going to go. Awesome. So that's doing its thing. Now for our SQL, you guys guessed it, we're doing the golden image because the golden image is the only task sequence that I have right now that allows you to join the domain and install the VM tools as well as configure the DNS for my domain join to work correctly. I think that's the reason why I do the SetDNS stuff. We're going to click next on that. And we're going to give this guy a name. You guessed it, BJ-SQL. Click on next. And again, you guessed it, which application we're doing. We're pushing SQL 2014 SP2. And we're going to click next on that. We're not capturing it. Next. And that's going to run. Awesome sauce. And yeah, again, you can catch everything at the bottom of the video. There is a link. That link, I believe, is called, let me see if I could check out the link real quick. The link is btnhd.com/TSR006 notes, all caps. That's going to download the zip, and that zip is going to have all the files that I'm using right now with you guys. So it's going to contain the stuff. It's going to contain the following files for you. Let's go in here. So it's going to contain, once I open this task sequence, come on, baby. There it goes. Task sequence. So it's going to contain the SetDNS batch file that I have, this guy. The domain join, which I have a VB script. All you have to do is just modify those 3 strings, your domain, username, and password. The bad thing about the VB script is that it's plain text. So if you're an individual that's really tight with security, you might not want to use that. Or you could select it in a way that it prompts you, and then you enter the information. You could customize the script to do that, to prompt you to enter that information. If you do that, shoot me a comment. I would definitely love to see that. I would love to see someone customize this VB script that when it gets to the part to join the domain, it prompts you to put your domain, your username, and password. That'd be fly. I would definitely love to have a copy of that and then use it. And then once it does the restart, it's going to start the installation, whatever program. For us, we pick for our SCCM Windows 10 ADK 1703. For our SQL, it's going to install the SQL database. And then a timestamp. I provide all that stuff for you. So I'm going to cancel. And we're going to minimize this. And we're going to close this guy up. And also, I provided a shortcut to the Windows ADK silent install stuff. So if you want to customize... your ADK, deployment rather than using all the features, you are able to customize it the way that you want it. Just follow that link. All that information is already inside Microsoft. You just got to find it and use it. Okay, so we need to get our environment ready for SCCM. So these guys are they're going strong. Awesome. So let's go back inside MDT. Cool. So the first thing that I have in my list right now is define a group policy. So we are going to open up our group policy management. Yeah. So I created a SQL ports for SCCM. Okay. Within this GPO, I did two things. I opened up two ports. One port was 1433 and the other one was 4022, which are needed within the SQL to talk to your SCCM correctly. And I also enabled, I'm gonna bring the mic a little because I'm tippy-toeing, crazy. And I also enabled allow inbound file and printing sharing. Now you're able to split both of them, but I kind of made both of them in one GPO because this is my lab. I don't know if it's really best practice, but if you're doing multiple things, you might have to separate. I don't know. I don't really know what's the best practice with GPOs when it comes down with like adding a bunch of crap into it. But for this GPO, I added the two TCP ports, and I also allowed the inbound, which I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to edit this guy. And hopefully you guys understand how to create a GPO. Just right click right here, right click, create a new GPO, and give it a name. You're probably saying to yourself, what is this? So my SCCM OU is the one that I created within my Active Directory. And I'm going to go over this pretty soon, so don't worry about that. So I created a OU, which I'm going to drop everything that's SCCM related into that. So that means my SQL, my SCCM virtual machines are going to be dropped here, and then going to retrieve this particular GPO once I either do a GP update force, or a restart and log in. So I'm going to right click on it and go to edit. And let me see if I could do a Control-4 to zoom in a little bit for you guys. Okay. Awesome sauce. And there it goes. Okay. So the first policy is within policies. Hopefully you guys are able to see. And I got to check my notes because I am a little slow. And so we're going to go to policies. Within policies, we're going to go inside Windows settings once that loads up. And within Windows settings, we're going to go to security. Let me get out of here because this is driving me nuts a little bit. There we go. Awesome. So let me expand this. And within security settings, you want to go inside Windows Firewall Advanced Policy. Right? I'm going to expand that. And you're going to get an additional Windows Firewall with advanced security, LDAP, and all that good stuff because it's pointing to your domain. So we're going to expand that. You're going to get inbound and outbound. Now, the two rules that we want to set is inbound rules. So you're going to right-click on it, create a new rule, right? My two rules are already set up, but I'm going to show you what I did. I go to port. Whatever port you want to do, for an example, 443, right? But for us, for the SCCM stuff, it's 1433 and 4022. You click on next. Once you add that stuff, you're going to allow connection. If you're really tight with security, you could probably disable this and this and just leave the domain. For me, because I'm doing everything as in a lab environment, I just left everything as the default. Click on next, give it a name, hit finish, and then you're good to go. I did it twice. That was set to 1433 and 4022. So that takes care of the SQL ports. Now, the next thing that I did is within, I believe, administrative templates, same within computer configuration, policies, administrative templates. Again, you could probably do a separate GPO, but I did everything in one. Admin templates, networks. Within networks, you want to go inside network connection, expand that, Windows firewall. And within Windows firewall, you have either domain profile, standard profile. So I did the domain profile, and the only thing that I enabled within here was the Windows firewall, allow inbound file and printer sharing exceptions. When I was testing this, when I was testing all this stuff out before, doing a show, because I always test this stuff out before I do it with you guys. When I didn't set this, and I had a crap load of problems. So I did an asterisk to do basically accept all the IP addresses. See, type asterisk to allow messages from any network, or else type a comma separated list that contains any number of combinations of these, blah, blah, blah. But I did a comma to accept everything. I think if you're really tight with security within your infrastructure, you probably might have to narrow it down to particular IP addresses. But for me, I'm doing everything in the lab and I want everything to work, so I just did asterisk. So those are the two. It's one GPO, but I've seen people separate this GPO on its own. But I just consolidated everything to one GPO and added to the OU that I wanted this guy to be entered to. Now within my list, creating users within Active Directory. So I'm going to close this up because I don't need that anymore. This is always best practice. You want to have specific user accounts that do specific things within your SCCM and your deployment. That's the same concept with MDT. You want to have MDT not logged in as an administrator, as an admin. You want it to have its own MDT user, right? When you're joining a computer to the domain, you don't want to use the AD admin account, which I normally do for my lab because because it's my lab and I don't really care. Well, I should care because you want to get used to that best practice to implement it in your environment, at your work environment. But within the SCCM world, there's a crap load of accounts that you should have. This is really up to you if you want to follow it. You should have at least a user account that builds the configuration manager images. You should have an account that pushes out the client push. I've seen areas. I've not seen areas. I've seen offices that I've gone, and consulted with. They actually use the full administrator, the full admin account that they use for AD for everything, and that's not good, right? Because once that admin account is broken and they have the IP address, you're just pretty. An IP address, you have that password for that admin account, you're pretty screwed. So separate every role that you have to do within SCCM. One for client push, one for joining the computers to the domain. You have one for your network account. Your network, it's supposed to be. Let's change that. That was a boo-boo. Let's change that. That's supposed to be network access account. So let's go to properties. No. This one. Go to properties. And this one's supposed to be access account, right? Yep. So yeah, that's your NAA for your OST operating system deployment. You have your reporting services if you're taking advantage of the SCCM reporting, which I love a lot because once you install the client within the workstations, it grabs like the memory, the network ID. It grabs so much. This is always good to have a separate account that just deals with reporting. So that is just a mix of what to do with creating accounts. This is really up to you. If you guys want to follow and create these 5 user accounts, you probably might want to create even more. You might want to create a Pixie account. You might want to create an account that deals with creating packages or creating what'd you call within the SCCM world, advertisements. You probably want to create an account that just does advertisements or just create packages and all that good stuff. But these are the 5 that we're using right now. The majority of them we're not going to use at all, because within the SCCM stuff, I'm just going to use admin. I know, again, doing my bad practice. Looks like right now is installing the operating system, which is good. This process is going to take a while. All right, so the next thing, we created our user accounts. Next thing that we need to do is create a system management container. Now, to accomplish this, you need to open up your ADSI editor. I'm going to try to remember the stuff. Getting too old, people. From here, you want to expand this. So let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you guys so you guys can see. Okay, cool. You want to expand your domain controller. You want to go inside system. And I already did this already. So I'm going to go down a little bit. And you want to create a container called system management, right? Yeah, system management. Now, if you don't know how to create an object within the system container, it's really simple. So you highlight your container, your system container. You right-click on it. You go into New. You go to Object. And within Object, you want to find Container. You click on Next. And then you give it the name. Now, the specific name for this will be the following. For this to work properly, for what I've seen, would be system management. I've seen this everywhere. And this is how I was taught, and this is how I normally do it, system management. So once you do that, we need to delegate permissions to that particular container. So I'm going to do a Control F to get out of here. So once you've completed that task within the ADSI editor, you're going to close that up, and we need to go back inside our Active Directory. And you want to go inside View and Advanced Features, because Advanced Features is going to give you extra little goodies that we need. Now, the one that we need to do is, let me see, I got to look at my notes because, again, I'm going to drive myself crazy. We want to locate the system management container that we created. So that means inside the system node, and we need to locate that system management, which is right here. Now, within the system management, we need to delegate some rights. So we're going to right click on it, and what we're going to do is Delegate Control. And once you click on Delegate Control, you're going to get the nice little wizard. So I'm going to Control F. So you're probably saying to yourself, why are you saying Control F? Now, Control F is a command with Microsoft Zoom It utility, which is a nice little application that allows you to zoom in and mark up and stuff. So Control F, if you're wondering why I continue saying Control F, allows me to zoom in and it will follow wherever the mouse is at. Okay. So it opens up the nice little delegation of control wizard. So we're going to click on Next on that. It's going to say users or groups. Now, we need to add the SCCM computer in here. And it just came to me. I can't do it because the SCCM machine, it's still being created. It hasn't fully completed yet. So that means we can't do that yet. So we're going to leave that as is. We're going to leave that as is. Because this guy's still imaging, is about 20% still going. We need to add that we need to add this server in here, but it's not done. Plus, it's going to install the Windows ADK 1703, and it needs to join the domain. So, all right. I could probably wait until the domain join kicks in. All right, so we need to wait, and that's okay. We're gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna go inside the chat room, see what's going on. Say hi to everybody. We got 24 strong people at the live stream. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you. Holy crap, wait a minute. Wow. Come on, SCCM. Go. We got 74%. It's kicking in. It hurt us. It was like, you got to hurry up. We got to add you to the system management container. You got to hurry up and finish and join to the domain. Now, if you guys are wondering, okay, I don't want to push any magic tricks to you guys. So I'm going to go do a Control Alt so I can get out of there. And I'm going to cancel this for now because we're going to get back into that. Computers, I have no BJ-SCCM nowhere. So I want to right click on this. I want to hit find because I don't want you guys to think, ah, man, you already did this already. The machine is already there. Blah, blah, blah. No, I don't want you guys to think that. So I'm going to find BJ-SCCM. Find now. There's nothing in there. And we're also going to do BJ SQL. And we're going to find now, nothing's there. I don't want you guys to think that this stuff was already done and I left it there. You know, don't get me wrong. I tested everything out within this environment and it worked out. And I just wiped everything clean and deleted it. But I don't want you guys to think that the machines are already in there. So that's why I showed you that. But it looks like it's kicking in. It looks like the deployment gods are working their magic. Awesome sauce. SQL needs to kick in. SQL is kicking in. Our SCCM is kicking in as well. I need this guy to join the domain so then I could continue over here and add that computer object within our system management container. So while that's doing that, let's get inside the chat room and let's say hi to everybody. Hello again, 24 strong people, and I love you all. I love you all. All right, first guy. OB Mister, what a something. I don't know what you're talking about. And what I think he said, what's up, Bernardo? Hey, what's up, OB Mister? Tony, what's up? Big R, what's up? Ben, what's up? Thank you for joining, everyone from England. Wow. Thank you so much, OB Mister. Thank you. I try a lot to provide at least good quality MDT, SCCM, Windows 10, a lot of server software stuff. I'm waiting for two Dell R730s that is supposed to be coming in pretty soon, and we're gonna do some unboxing on that on the show. We're gonna do a little bit RAID configuration. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna really get into that because one of the servers is going to be a web server, and the other one is going to be a database server. So I'm pretty excited for those two machines to come in because hopefully, if everything works well, I probably work with them in the on the show with you guys. How awesome is that? Got some hardware up in here. That's what we need, right? The stuff that we've been doing is everything virtual and software based. So I can't wait when we get physical hardwares in the lab and get that going. Okay, so that's servers are still going. Let's go back inside the chat. Parker, hey, how you doing, Parker? Jeff, hey, we got people from Texas. We got people from North Carolina, South Carolina. Wow. England. Wow. Minnesota. Wow, man. Love you guys. Love you all. Thank you for joining. So, BTNHD, aren't you BTFHD? What? Ha. BTNFHD. What do you mean HD? Like full high definition? Is that what you're implying, Mr. Gamer? We got someone from Asheville. Wow, North Carolina. A lot of people from North Carolina. NC, go away. All right, Ben. So, Ben, you use skip domain membership equals to no in my custom settings, INI. Yeah, you could use that. You could use that, but you could do that as well. But if you are joining it, you could either do it a couple ways. There's so many ways to do it. You could do it with the custom settings INI file to domain join your machine. You could use a task sequence. You could use a script. You could use so many ways to do it. I like to do a VB script. So the one that I gave you guys as my notes and within that zip folder has all that stuff. So that's the one I like to use. So Ben says, Ben Bernardo, if you do skip domain membership equals yes, then it will ask you on the computer name screen in the task wizard what domain to join using an XML file. In scripts, you can define a list of OUs too. This is correct, Ben. You are correct. And I think I did a video on that. I forgot. It was a long time ago, but I actually touched based on that on a video and the channel. That was a long time ago. But yes, you are able to create an XML file. You could, and then drop it inside your script folder or wherever you want it. And you will have a nice little drop down menu. And when you click on it, it would drop inside that OU. This is true. I touched based on that. But when I was doing this stuff, it didn't really, register. So I didn't do it. Barry, hey, what's up? London? Wow. All right, who else? I wish I had time to watch this. Maybe next time later. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Go Seed. I do appreciate you stopping by, showing some love. It is okay. The show will be there later on. Once it's completed, it's going to be rendered or processed, and it's going to be at the channel so you guys could catch it anytime when you have some time. So within our SCCM, it looks like our VMware tools are installing. Once that's completed, it's going to restart the machine. Once that's completed, it's going to join the domain. Once the domain join is completed, it's going to restart the machine. And once it restarts the machine, I should have my BJ-SCCM within our Active Directory. Then I'm able to continue doing what I need to do. So that's a great thing. And it looks like our SQL database is getting into that as well. So I'm happy for that. Tony, using admin account is a no. Yes, I know, Tony. I know admin. Using admin for anything is a big no-no. It's extremely a no-no because you're risking so much using an Active Directory admin. And when you're probably saying to yourself, what is Active Directory admin? The Active Directory admin is the admin that comes within Active Directory. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So right here, within users, this guy, the built-in account for administrating the computers within your domain is a bad thing to use for everything. I've seen offices or IT setups that do this all the time. The only time that I do it is within my lab. Why? Because I want everything to work correctly, and then eventually I go inside my lab and start tweaking it out. But best practice, again, if you have a SQL database server, you probably want to create a SQL user account for that machine, right? If you have an SCCM server, you want to have an SCCM user account to log into that machine. But make sure that account has full access to that server to do what it needs to do, okay? Back to the chatting because we're still going. VMware tools is still installing. Eventually it's going to restart on us. VM tools is installing for our SQL, so it's awesome. We're going to go back over here in that chat room. So you guys saw my Windows 7 machine? You guys saw my Windows 7 machine? You guys, Come on, guys. Come on. I use it. You know why I still use Windows 7? Because it works. Why change if it still works? If it still works for your environment, there's no need for an upgrade. Don't get me wrong. Eventually, I will upgrade this Windows 7 machine, which is, when I'm displaying all the goodness right now for you guys. I'm going to upgrade it to Windows 10, but it's working right now. It's still being updated. Microsoft is still pushing updates to it, and I'm taking advantage that it still works with no problem. So I'm not hating Windows 7 at all. All right, so let's go back in here. These guys are still installing. Eventually, it is going to restart the machine. That's what I want. Once it restarts the machine, it's going to add it to the domain, which is awesome. SCCM did something. Hopefully, it's going to be restarting pretty soon. Oh my God, we got someone from Scotland. Nice. Oh, it's restarting. Great. I'm excited. The reason why I'm getting excited for my SCCM restarting is because I can't wait for the domain join to kick in so we can continue doing what we need to do for our SCCM environment. So that's why I'm getting excited. All right. So the next thing that's going to happen within this server right now, the custom task that we did, it's going to start joining the domain, and then I could go inside Active Directory and it's going to be there. Awesome. And then within Active Directory, I'm going to move that particular computer, our virtual machine, inside our SCCM OU, because remember that OU is attached to that GPO that that I showed you guys that we created together. Not we didn't create together, but what I created behind the scenes. I know you don't use admin in the real. Yes, thank you, Tony. Yeah, I don't use admin for in the real world, but for the lab, you could get away with it in the lab. It's a lab environment. You get to play around and test stuff out and, learn best practice. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is true, Ronnie. Awesome words. You took it straight out of my mouth. If it's not broken, why fix it? It works. If it continue working, keep it. It's still working for me. I'm not going to change. Don't get me wrong. I still have a couple of machines at home that's running Windows 10. And they work with no problem. Joining the domain worked pretty fast. That was extremely fast, right? So I'm crossing my fingers that everything worked, because everything did work out for me when I tested everything out for you before I did the show. And we're going to, right now, my SQL is restarting because VM tools. I'm crossing my fingers, praying to the deployment God. So I'm going to do a Control F right now. And remember, we went inside the computers. Oh my God, I'm gonna right click on it. We're gonna do a refresh. Hey, oh, nice. There goes BJ-SCCM. So our Control F to get out of there. Our domain join VB script worked. Awesome. So, oh yeah, I know I'm such a damn nerd, but I love this stuff. So I'm going to take this virtual machine, I'm going to drag it inside this guy right here, and I'm going to click yes on that because I want that guy to grab all those OUs. Beautiful. And the next thing that we need to do is our SQL. So right now, our SQL finished our VMware tools. It's restarting. Once it starts the process, it should do the domain join. Domain join is like that with that VB script. That's what I love about that VB script. It's going to do it right now. Watch. Right now. It's going to be beautiful. So the next thing within the task sequence is install applications, right? And for our SCCM, it is our Windows ADK 1703. And for our SQL, right now, it's going to do the domain join. It's installing right now, Windows 10 ADK version 1703. Sorry, guys, sorry. I do apologize. My allergies are kicking in. It's bothering me. So right now, our SQL should start the deployment again. It should say join domain. Come on, join domain. Come on. I want you to say join domain for me, baby. Join domain. I wonder how... Installing Windows. Okay, there it goes. Join domain and done. Oh, there it goes. That's done. That's restarting. The domain join is done. And we're going to right click here and we are doing a refresh. And there goes our SQL Server. Awesome sauce. So we're going to drag that inside our SCCM OU. We got both virtual machines in there. Again, this OU has that special GPO that I showed you guys with the 2 TCP IP ports for SQL that was enabled, and as well as enabling that inbound file sharing thing. So we're going to continue. So we need to delegate our rights to our system. So let's go back inside systems, and within systems, go to system management, and I'm going to right click on it again and go to delegate control. I'm going to do a control 4, so I want you guys to see a little bit more. We're going to go next on that, and now we're going to click on add, And within objects, we need to change it because by default, it's going to do the security principles. It's going to do groups and users. For us, we want to do computers. And we're going to click OK. And the computer that we want is our SCCM. And we're going to check the name. And we're going to click OK. Awesome. We're going to click on Next on that. And for here, task to delegates, you want to create a custom task delegate. And what you want to do is, I got to check my notes because it's one of those things that I forget. Because how often do you build SCCM servers? It's like I don't do it every day. So you got to make sure this folder, existing objects in this folder, and creation of new objects in this folder. Make sure that's checked off. By default, it is. So just click on Next. And once you click on Next, you got to make sure the properties specify creation, deletion of specified child objects. And you want to do a full control. And you want to click Next. And you hit Finish. And you're done. So we just delegated rights or delegated control to that container. Control F to get out of there. So we just delegated control to our SCCM server to this particular container. Awesome. Cool. So we're going to go back here. Awesome. Is installing SQL. Look at that. Look at that sexiness. As you guys can see, look at that background. Would you guys see that background? See that SQL going? Oh, that's awesome. I'm excited. I love when stuff starts working. Like all of us technicians love when stuff works. All right, you work so hard. You test, you test, you test. It breaks. You test, you test. It breaks. It works. It's awesome. So that's going. And we're going to continue. So right now, again, I'm looking at my notes. Look on my notes. You guys see my notes? That's my notes, right? So we are, we did the delegation. We delegated permissions, which is awesome. The next thing is install roles and features within our SCCM. But our SCCM, I'm not going to touch it yet until our Windows 10 ADK version 17.03 is completed. Because once that's completed, I'm going to restart the machine. And then I'm going to log into the machine. I'm going to log into the machine using the AD admin. I know. I'm going to log in anyway. And then from there, within our notes, within the notes that I gave you guys, I'm showing you guys the notes because I gave you a good amount of stuff today to get you guys up and running. So within my notes, we are going to run the following PowerShell commands. I love PowerShell. PowerShell it's a must if you are managing Server 2012 and up, or even Server 2008. Server 2008 R2 and up. If you're managing those servers, PowerShell is a must because PowerShell just makes life so easy. And PowerShell works excellent with MDT and SCCM if you know how to use it correctly. For me, I'm still a novice. I'm still learning from it. I just know how to do the basics. But eventually, you never know. I might do a video on PowerShell on the show. Who knows? But all this stuff is in the notes, so you guys could check it out. I'm going to take a little water break. I'm getting thirsty. So this is still going. This takes a while because it's pretty huge. This takes a while too because, again, I told it to install all the features. So I got 23 of you guys strong going. We're going 52 minutes. I'm trying to push it. I don't want to do this 2 hours. Normally the shows have been going like 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes. Damn, it's been going pretty long. But, we're doing a lot. We're learning a lot. I'm hoping that you guys are learning a lot from me. And I'm also learning from you guys. I always learn a lot from you guys. You guys make me strong, and I'm hoping I can make you guys a little stronger in your IT world. So let's go back in the chats. I'm going to read a couple. Experience the new features in Windows 10. I love Windows 10. I use Windows 10 every day at home. Tony, Tony says I still have a couple of Microsoft Bob. Google it, folks. A major OS failure for Microsoft Windows 7 is very solid. Microsoft Bob? What? That's funny. When everything is installed, can you talk us through all the different logs and what they are all for? Oof. That's a show itself. So we have a question right now in the chat that says, when everything is installed, can you talk us through all the different logs and what they are all for? If you're talking about the SCCM logs, holy crap, that's a lot. There's a lot of important logs that SCCM utilizes to get you up and running. You have the client log, you have the configuration management log, you have the update log, you have the Pixie log. You have a lot of logs. That's a show itself, but I will add it to my notes because I always add stuff that you guys recommend into my notes because, future video, right? So I will put in my notes SCCM logs explain. So you guys want me to explain the SCCM logs. Are there any specific logs that you want me to touch base? If that's the case, let me know. But don't leave it at the chat, because the chat right now, all this good stuff that you guys are talking right now in the chat is gonna disappear, and that's one of the things I hate about the live chat. So once the video is done and it's processed and it's pushed out to the channel that you guys could go back and watch it, leave comments below. They will stay there, but for now the live chat disappears. But I love that. I love that request. I would definitely do a video for you guys, a separate video, because I got to do my research. I got to make sure, I'm explaining it correctly. Or if there are specific logs that you want me to touch base, let me know as well. And I would do that for you guys. I listen to you guys. I try to listen to you guys. Okay. Back to the chat, because Windows ADK is done. And let me see my MDT. Let me see something. Because for me, for my Windows, for this task sequence, I should have turned on the final summary so I can know it was done. Because once it's done, there's no dialog box, so it doesn't indicate that it's done for me or anything. It installs that. It does the stamp. It doesn't do that. It's gonna restore. It's gonna apply local. Not doing any imaging. So okay guys, so it looks like our BJ-SCCM is completed. That means I could go in here and I could go out. Oh, how awesome is that? Because we installed VM tools. And I'm gonna minimize this a little bit, and I'm gonna go into our File Explorer. And again, I need to restart the machine because I want to log into my domain. But right now, I'm logged in as the local. But I want to go to this PC. I want to go to computer. And remember that timestamp that we did? There goes the timestamp. So if I come back a year later, 2 years later, I know that this machine was created on this day at this time. And if you double click on the file, it just says that. That's my timestamp. So if you are wondering about Windows ADK 10 1703, let's click on Start, and let's look at the goodness. Windows Kits. There it goes. There goes all the goodness. And if we right click on the Start menu and we go to Control Panel, and let's change this to small icons, and let's go to Programs and Features. And again, all of our C++ runtimes that we install within our reference image, they're here because I used that reference task sequence. I took advantage of that. And Windows Tools, and there goes our Windows ADK, which is version 15.063, which is 1703. Awesome. So I'm going to do a Control-Alt-Insert. We're going to restart this guy right now. Hit continue. We're going to restart the machine. So I'm going to log in. Once I log in, we're going to open up our PowerShell ISE, I believe it's called, our little GUI kind of interface editor. And we are going to start installing our roles. Now, our SQL database hasn't completed yet. And we really need that SQL database to hurry up. Hurry up, SQL. Hurry the hell up. We need you to hurry up, right? People got lives. People got lives to go to. All right. So, yes, this is true. Tony, you're correct. I love that saying. Don't fear the shell. Oh, man. I should make a shirt like that. Would you guys purchase a shirt that says BTNHD and has the quote of "Don't fear the shell. That'd be fly. All right, so SCCM is rebooted, and we are going to do a Control-Alt-Insert. And again, I'm gonna do a bad habit. I know this is not good. I know, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna log in as an administrator. I was like, today I can't say administrator. I can't say that damn word today. We're gonna log into this machine so we can start installing our roles and features that we need. And we're going to use PowerShell. I don't know why I started singing, but it gets kind of custom. Sucks. All right, so while that's loading and logging in, which is good stuff, we're going to go back into the chat room. We have a couple of people saying, is the notes link below the YouTube video ready yet? I see domain. Yes, Ben, the notes are there. The notes are still there. I'm going to, I'll do a favor for you guys. Let me go inside chat. So I added the link onto the live chat so you guys can click on it. Again, it's a zip file. The zip file has the two bat files, the one that sets the DNS, the one that sets the timestamp cookie. It has the VB script to add the computer to the domain, and it has that URL link that takes you directly to TechNet site, so you guys could do a little bit more reading on the ADK installation. Installing it silently, because you could customize it even more. So what I like to do within the server manager, I like to click on manage server manage properties, and don't show that. That gets annoying. And we're going to close that up. Cool. So I'm going to go inside start, and within start we are going to go inside Windows PowerShell, and within PowerShell we are going to right click on our Windows PowerShell ISE more, and we're going to run it as an administrator. Yeah, click yes. Awesome sauce. So while that's loading up, I'm going to right click here. I'm going to do a run. I'm going to do //bj-mdt and transfer, because I created network share, and network share has this guy. Copy and paste. Copy and paste is the most genius way to do things nowadays. So I'm gonna copy this first, and let's close you up. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to paste you in first, and I'm gonna highlight, and I'm gonna run. We're gonna run that, and I'm just gonna right click all this, copy, and paste, highlight all you, and install. So right now it's installing everything that we need. SQL right now is doing its thing. It's working its magic. I'm hoping it can finish on time, because we need the SQL database, because when we're installing our stuff within our SCCM server, we need to have our SCCM point to our SQL database. So hoping that goes well. So what I've done so far, if you guys are wondering, again, I use my notes. Love the notes. I open up Windows PowerShell ISE within the admin environment. I did the Git module server management, and I just copy and paste all my notes into that, and I just ran all these commands. So right now is installing all the goodness that we need. So let me just increase this a little bit. Actually, let's do the following. Let's do Control 4. Let's minimize this. I'm gonna close this out. Right click, display. I'm gonna increase the size a little bit, And advanced display. And that's good. Excellent. Keep. Awesome. Cool. And PowerShell. Awesome. So right now we already have 2 things that have successfully completed. That's awesome. I'm keeping everything as the default. There's nothing kind of thing, there's nothing kind of magical that I'm doing behind the scenes. I'm just keeping all the default roles and features installed. Yes, good tip. For launching stuff as an admin, Control Shift left click instead of right clicking. That's more keys that I have to press rather than just right click. Just, it's one little right click and just run as admin. But it is a cool tip. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, VM console. It is annoying that you can't copy and paste within the VM console. It kind of sucks. You would think that our technology is so advanced that copy and paste feature would be everywhere, that you could do it anywhere, anytime. But sucks that VMware consoles you can't do it. Good request. Another request is managing and creating DP points for multiple sites. That's kind of simple because you have your centralized server, which is your centralized SCCM, and then you install the configuration manager into a server, and then install the DP on that. It's a little weird, but I definitely will add that to the list of the many to-do things that I have to do for you guys. But I will definitely add that to the list. But again, some of these requests that you guys are pushing out, make sure that you add them again into the chat or the comment section once this video is done, because this live chat stuff, I can't export it out. So once the show is over, the chat stuff is done, is gone, and if I don't write it down now, it's gonna suck. But I am trying to take as fast notes because you guys are pushing out a lot of stuff for me to do. So got manage and create DPs for multiple sites. That's a good one. And I'm still doing my SCCM playlist. That playlist is still going. This show that I'm just doing right now is just installing SCCM 1703 TP, technical preview. So I'm just doing that for this show. But I do have a playlist already on the channel that deals with DP, centralizing servers, creating a centralized site, a CAS, management, enabling the network discovery, enabling Pixie, doing all that stuff. So I do have a playlist already inside the channel that I am working on it little by little. I am a little slow on creating more videos on that, is because I got a lot of work to do. But I try to push out as much stuff to you guys and as fast as possible. And again, I'm a one-man team. Big R says, it works in Hyper-V. I'm VMware all the way. I'm a combination of both. I like to do Hyper-V and VMware. I don't really favor either. I don't know. I can't favor one of them. I like both of them. Wait, I'm lying, because I use VMware more than Hyper-V. I think it's because it's a license thing. All right, so all our roles are done. Success. Wait, yes, our SQL is done. Our SQL is done. I'm gonna let it rest for there, because again, I have the skip the final summary dialog box, so it doesn't prompt me that it's completed. I should enable that within my custom settings i9 file, so then it gives me an indication that says, oh, okay, boom, it's done. I could do something with it. So I'm going to exit out of this guy right here. No, I don't need to. I'm going to do a Control-Alt insert, and I'm going to restart the machine because I want to refresh it because we just installed a crap load of roles and features on the server. And I'm going to go back to my notes because I want everything to be like boom, 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 boom. Okay. Install roles and features. We already downloaded and installed Windows ADK 1703, which that was in my notes. It's in my notes. Step 6, download, install Windows. Step 7 was install SQL, which we already did on using our MDT. So I'm gonna close this guy up real quick and close you. I'm gonna restart our SQL database or our SQL server. I'm gonna restart it. And then I'm gonna log into it again. I'm doing the bad habit of logging as an admin. So I know. So that's restarted. We're going to do is I could do guess whatever, but a lot of you guys always say do Control-Alt insert, do Control-Insert. So I'm gonna do the Control-Alt insert. So while I was doing that, I am going to do Control-Insert over here. And let's restart you. Restart you. Nice little fresh so I can log into that. Let's log into this machine. Awesome sauce. Okay, so within our SCCM, we're going to do a couple of things. I am going to install WSUS within this environment. But I want to log into my SCC. I want to log into my SQL because it looks like, for what I read online, it looks like you have to add this your SCCM server as an admin within your SQL database. When I tested it out, I didn't have my SCCM part of this machine to as an admin. And when I was running the checker to make sure everything was done correctly for me to push out SCCM, it gave me an error, and the error was it didn't have permission. So once I added this computer into the SQL database as an admin, it worked. So that's really weird. So I'm going to send Control-Alt-Delete on our SQL database. We're going to go to other, and I'm going to log into this machine. And we're logging in again. I'm doing bad practice. I know. But within this machine, I'm going to do a run. I'm going to go inside transfer. Within transfer, I'm going to drag and drop our SCCM 1703 exe file, which is a container. It's a zip file that's going to, when you double click on it, it's going to extract the stuff that we're going to be needing. So I'm going to be dropping everything inside the C drive. So let's loading. All right, this is launching. Good. So we're going to double click on this guy. Again, I want to install WSUS onto this machine, but I'm going to extract this. It's going to go to the C drive. So just unzip all that good stuff. This guy's going to load up the server manager pretty soon. I'm going to disable that because I don't like server manager starting up. And I'm going to change the resolution on the SQL database. Again, for those guys that are watching this crazy guy on a Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the server room. One of the greatest show, hopefully one of the greatest show that you guys are tuned in. I try to make it great. Episode 6, already 6 weeks in. Super happy. I'm excited. I'm proud. You guys provide a lot of info and feedback to make this show lively. So I'm waiting for this to load up. So I'm gonna go to manage. And server manage properties, I'm going to check that off because I don't want it. And I'm going to press that and cancel that. So I'm going to right click on here. And I'm going to display settings because I want to change the resolution a little bit here. And I'm going to advance. And I'm going to change it to 1280 by 800. And I'm going to apply. and we're gonna keep the changes and auto fit. Beautiful. Close that up. Now I'm gonna go inside Start, and within Start we are going to locate our Microsoft SQL Server 2014, and I want to right click and add my management into the taskbar, and we're gonna launch that up. And the reason why I'm launching this up is because I want to make sure it is working, right? You always want to make sure that everything is working and it's green and is good to go. So while that's loading up, I'm going to right click on our Start menu, and I'm going to Computer Management, because again, I need to add our SCCM server within the admin of this SQL Server. Because again, when I was testing everything out, that was one of the errors that I received when it was checking to make sure everything was correctly done before installing. I know there's a couple of warnings I'm going to have, and that's the SQL database doesn't have enough memory. I didn't configure the SQL management memory pool. I don't really care. Again, this is testing, but I am going to do a write-up pretty soon. So I'm going to log in as that. Remember, this is the account that I gave it during the installation, and it should work. Look at that, green. Holy snaps. All right, so that's our SQL database is running. Awesome sauce. And I'm going to go to local users and groups. Let's go into, I believe, groups, administrator, add, objects, computer. Get out of here with that. I don't want that, right? We don't want that. We want computers, and the one that we want is BJ-SCCM. Let's check the name. Okay. Apply. Okay. Excellent. Cool. So right now I don't have any database, so that's a good thing. So we're inside our SCCM server. So we're gonna press OK, and we're gonna close that because everything was already extracted. And we're going to our File Explorer, and this PC, Windows, and here goes our beautiful information, which we're going to be using pretty soon. So before we even start with the SCCM stuff, we need to do is install WSUS. So I'm going to go into Start, Server Manager, and Server Manager. When that loads up, let's go inside our File Explorer, this PC, and within the C drive, let's create a folder. New folder, and we're gonna call it WSUS because we want that to drop that good stuff when we configure our WSUS. So okay, and we're gonna go to Manage, Add Roles and Features. I hate that. Come on. Still loading. It's gonna take some time. Still loading some of the services that we have. All right, so now I could go to Manage, Add Roles and Features, go to Next, on that, and yep, go to Next, and the one that we want will be Windows Server, WSUS, Windows Server Update Services. Awesome. Gonna click Next. Now, leave the default. Click Next on that. Click on Next, and the roles and features. Now, you could either do WID, which is the Windows internal database, or you could do the SQL Server connectivity. Now, if you pick this, it's gonna say no, you can't have both of them. You know, you can't have two databases. You can't have the internal database plus a SQL database. Can't do that. So you have to pick either or. So uncheck that, pick that, make sure that WSUS services is checked off. Click on Next, and it's gonna tell you where do you want to drop the goodness. So again, I'm going to do that C:\WSUS and click on Next. Now, if everything works, if our GPO stuff works and everything is working correctly, if I do BJ-SQL dot btnhd.edu. If I click check connection, everything should work, and I'm crossing my fingers. If it doesn't work, that means there's a firewall issue. If it's a firewall issue, that's not a problem. We can still get it up and running, or I can still get it up and running, but that's not a problem. So I'm hoping that's because I know my DHCP, my DNS is working correctly, because I was able to do failed to connect to SQL. That's not a problem. So let's go inside SQL. Let's go right click on here. It looks like the group policy hasn't hit yet. Interesting. All right, so what I'm going to do is go to control panel, because I want this stuff to go up and running fast for us. So I'm going to go to Windows PowerShell. So this is just me doing what I do best, trying to get stuff working. So I'm just going to disable the domain, because I trust the domain within for now. And we're going to check the connection again, see if it works out. I also have the database in here too. Probably need to right click on that. Go to control panel and go to small Windows firewall. And I'm going to turn you off too. There you go. It failed again. Let me check again. Check again. Come on. Why is that checking again? It should work. Should automatically work. All right, let's bj-SQL. Check connection. Oh, come on. It worked last time. See? One of those headaches. Dum, 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 dum. One of those headaches. Yep, this is true. It is better to separate your WSUS on a different server. But for now, I'm keeping everything. I'm keeping the WSUS within the SCCM just for now. But it is true, Big R. You are correct. It'd be better. You're better off doing it within another server. Have your WSUS on a separate server. And for some reason, it's failing on me. Come on. Machine name. This is right. This is right. All right, let me see. Let me try one more thing. If not, damn, this is what I'm talking about, man. This worked out for me last time. The same way that I'm doing everything, it worked out for me. And now it's not working out for me. I don't know why. I'm gonna turn everything off on the firewall. I know it can't be no firewall because let's disable everything in the firewall. Let's see, let's disable all this. Disable all that. There we go. The DB. See, it's saying domain name, instant name. Automatically, if you pick that, it should work. So let's do this. Let's right click. Let's restart. Let's restart the SQL database real quick. Press yes on that. Yes on that. Let me just restart it real quick. See what happens. Yeah, this is true, Big R and Tony. You're right. When it comes to a lab, you know, you could take advantage of everything within the lab and just put everything in one solid machine. Just take advantage of your lab. But in the real world, you're separating everything because it makes life extremely easy for you. Just best practice is separate your WSUS, separate your AD. If you want, you can separate your WDS as well. So I restarted that. I disabled everything for some reason. This guy is just giving me problems. It's just giving me problems. I should not have problems at all. I know. Let's right click. Let's go to start. Windows Administrative. Where are you? Services. Let me check something out. Checking something out because again, I tested this stuff out before I did this and it worked fine for me. Now it's not working anymore. Let's go to SQL There it goes. Yeah, it's using the default. It's using the default, people. It's using the default. It should not matter. So let's check again. Damn it. If I can't connect to this server, that means I'm going to have problems with the SCCM. That's overall the problem. That's going to be a problem. That's definitely going to be a problem if I cannot connect to this server. Yep, I can't connect to the damn thing. It sucks. IP config 192. I don't know if it's, can it be 192, 168, 120? And this one is 1112. Let's see. Now it worked. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Holy moly. So, the IP address works. So something's going on. Something's going on. I don't like that because I don't like that at all because I don't like that at all, people. There. 116, 112. That's why. Darn it. See? Damn it. Wait a minute. So why does... That's not good. Wait a minute, people. Wait a minute. This is 110. Holy crap. Right click on this. Go to properties. This is 110, people. 110. Apply that. And my SCCM. Again, I told you guys, I tested this stuff out before I did anything. So my DNS did not upgrade. So this was a quick troubleshooting. I got it to work. So we're going to change the DNS 112. I don't know. It should go pretty fast, right? Should it go pretty fast? What happens? Okay. So I know the IP address works. And I just updated the DNS. So if I go to bj-SQL, should this work? Should work, damn it. Or it's going to take a while for it to go through with DNS. I think that's the problem. If that's the case, I just stick with the IP address. But I know I tested this stuff out. Damn DNS, man. Damn DNS. Jiminy Cricket. DNS, man, was pointing to the wrong IP address. That's why I couldn't go through. But you need to go through. That's what I'm saying. You need to go through. Because... refresh this. Alright, 10. SQL is reading 12. What the hell is going on? Why is my SQL reading as 12? Oh, SQL is 12. Wait a minute. I'm getting confused. Go back here. Go to DNS. Yeah, it's 12 for some. Holy moly! All right. So what happens if I know the IP address. BTNHD. And I open up the firewall. I know the DNS was the problem. It looks like DNS was reading another IP address. If I put the IP address of 192.168.1.1.1.12, it works. That's great. But my main concern is I don't want to use the IP address. I want to use that damn DNS. You know what, man? Screw it. I'm just gonna use the IP address. Check the connection. Hit next. I updated the DNS, so it's probably taking a sweet little damn time to update itself throughout the network. So you know what? Forget about it. But for now, we're just gonna use the IP address. Okay. Damn, that sucks. And I disabled all the firewall. So oh, wait a minute. So I want to see something. I want to see something. So remember that we pushed out a GPO. So I want to see if our GPO works. Go to control panel, firewall. Use all recommended right there. Use all recommended right there. We're gonna close that up, and we're gonna close that up. Now I'm gonna do a paste this guy and then check the connection. Nice. So our GPO works. No problem. It was just in my part. My DNS server had the wrong IP address for my SQL. I don't know how that happened. I probably didn't do a good job in cleaning it up when I was testing it out, but it was still reading the old IP address. Even my SCCM. Damn, I should have cleaned that up. Horrible way to cover your tracks, Bernardo. So that's good. We got a nice little connection to it. So I'm going to hit install. So it's installing. Awesome. Kind of disappointed that we couldn't use the DNS, but again, my DNS had the wrong IP address. I changed it. It's just gonna take some time for it to, update itself. Yeah. See. Oh, wait a minute. That's a good call. Someone. Oh, this is why I love you guys. Wait a minute. Oh, good call, my man Jeff. Let's delete this guy. That's probably a reason why it didn't go through, because you had 3A records with the same damn IP address. Good job, Jeff. Also, Big R, that's true. I could have done an IP config flush DNS, but I think Jeff was on the right spot. I think Jeff and Big R were in the right spot as well. Big R, I didn't need to enable TCP/IP on the SQL configuration. I didn't even touch it. I didn't even do that stuff. So it wasn't that. It was just my DNS record for my SQL still had the old IP address when I was testing everything out. Plus, like Jeff said, I had another A record with the same IP address, so that's probably another issue. And also, Big R, you're correct. I could have done an IP config flush to DNS, but because I still had that second record, it wouldn't make a difference. But it's now working. It's okay. It's installing. Woo! It's awesome. Doing live troubleshooting with you guys. How awesome is that? That's always good when stuff doesn't work and then you troubleshoot it on the spot. It's always good. We're learning. We're learning. Good stuff, people. Nice job, Jeff. Nice job, Big R. Nice job, everyone. Thank you again. This is why I love you guys. You guys are my tech family. You guys are there. So we took care of the DNS problem. So let me get out of there. It's installing. We're going to do a launch post installation. It's going to say, please wait while your server is being configured. And I'm going to go in my SQL database and just refresh it. And there goes our SUSDB database. Ooh, sweet. Awesome. So please wait while your server is configured. So you got to wait until it's configured. And I think sometimes this right here should say completed, right? I'm not too sure. I'm trying to remember if it should say completed. So I'm going to give it some time. But our database did show up. I think the next thing that we need to do, I'm looking at my notes right now, is we already extracted the stuff. We need to extend our AD. So we could actually do that now. Let's extend our Active Directory. So to extend our Active Directory is pretty simple. I'm going to close. Actually, I'm going to, within my Active Directory, I like to go to View. I like to uncheck Advanced Features. I don't like all that stuff to be there. The only time I like Advanced Features is when I need to use Advanced Features. So let's close that. And I'm going to right-click and go to Run. And from here, I'm going to go / BJ-SCCM /C $, hit Enter. And if everything goes well, you're going to see SCCM. Remember, this is our server. This is where we drop that stuff. We need to get inside our SCCM setup. And within here, we need to go. I got to look at my notes because, as always, I always forget. We need to go into bin x64. And within the x64, that's a file called extend Active Directory schema. So let me zoom in a little bit so you guys could check it out. So the path to locate this, again, we extracted our SCCM stuff within the C drive of our SCCM server. So I navigated to that UNC path, and I went inside the SMS setup bin x64. You're going to locate the exe AD schema exe file, okay? So exit out of here. And I'm going to right click on it, and we are going to run as an administrator. And it's pretty quick, hopefully, crossing the fingers. And it's seamless. It goes pretty fast. But if you want to check if it was successful, which is always the scary thing, is checking on it. So I'm going to right click on the File Explorer. We're going to open up another File Explorer, double click on the C drive, and you're going to see this log. Like, I'm afraid of looking at the log because it's one of those things is like, oh, I just want it to work. So I'm going to go inside my SCCM and check on this. So configuration successfully completed. That's great. We're going to click on close. We're going to close our server manager. That's done for now. I'm going to open up within our SCCM server. I'm going to open up the File Explorer, this PC, C drive. I'm going to go in here because eventually we're going to start this guy up. But yeah, I know I have to go and check on the extend log. I know. Let's double click on it. I'm too afraid of watching it. I'm afraid. Okay, so let's look at the logs. Let's zoom in on this bad boy. Let's do a Control F and let's zoom in. And let me see if I could just get everything. This is always a great thing right here. Successfully extended the Active Directory schema. You always have that fear when you do something really critical to your Active Directory. You don't want it to fail because it's your Active Directory. If it messes up, even though you should be backing up your Active Directory daily, but it's always that fear of something happening. You have to stay overtime to get it up and running for the next day for your users to see when they come in. When your users come into office, nothing's happened. It's like seamless, right? It's like our users think like we're fairies. We have magical fairy dust that we just sprinkle on machines and stuff just works automatically. That's not true. Us system administrators, network administrators, IT technicians, whatever you want to call us, the IT guys, we pull our hairs when stuff don't work. But again, it's up to us to make sure stuff is backed up and everything is working correctly. So I'm excited that our Active Directory schema worked with no problem. So that's a plus. So let's get out of here. So I'm going to do Control F. I'm going to close this guy. So our Active Directory schema is completed. I'm going to go inside SCCM. And within our SCCM, I'm just going to double click on our splash. Let that launch up. Awesome. And, oh, cool. So within the technical preview, there's an issue with downloading the config management prerequisites. So there's a way of doing it before you start installing. So I'm going to show you guys right now how to do it. So let's go inside this PC, C drive, and within here, I'm going to create another folder called downloads. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Now, from here, what you want to do is go inside the following. You want to go inside wherever you extracted that SCCM stuff, go into the SMS setup. And within there, go to bin. Within bin, you want to go into the x64. Actually, let's go back because what I want to do is hold the shift key, right click, and I want to do is open a command window here. Got it? So within here, you want to do is setup DL. Setup DL download.exe, which is we want to download the prerequisites for the configure management beforehand. I had some issues. I allowed the SCCM application to do it for me, and it errored out for me. So we're going to do C and put it inside that folder, which is called downloads, right? I think that's what we called it. And we're going to hit enter. And we're going to hit yes. It's going to launch it, and it's going to download all 15 files. And then when it comes time to our SCCM that it says, okay, where do you want to drop your configuration management prerequisite files? You say, hey, I already got it. I already get it downloaded. This is the path right here. Just continue doing this thing. But for me, when I let SCCM do this part, it failed on me on number 10 or 13. It just crapped out on me. I was really upset. I did some research, and I found this information at windows-noob.com. Another great, awesome guru that knows his stuff with deployment. I've a lot of the stuff that I know, I learned from windows-noob.com as well as deploymentresearch.com. That's where I normally get my stuff at. I read the stuff, I test it out within my environment, and then I push out these videos for you guys because I want to show you guys that this stuff does work. Sometimes you get glitches when you're reading up this stuff online, and you're probably saying to yourself, you're scratching your head, but it works for them. Why doesn't it work for me? This is where I come in. I like pushing this stuff out in a video and show you guys what's wrong and what's right and how I got it working. So that's downloaded. We're going to exit out of this command prompt and just go to the C drive. And within downloads, there goes our stuff. Close. And for some reason, 1703 technical preview doesn't open off the bat. It takes a while for the splash page to freaking open up. Like open. Like seriously, open. But there goes that beautiful thing. So I'm going to do is a Control F to zoom in a little bit because I want you guys to see all the action. I'm going to take a little water break, because we are about an hour and 39 minutes strong. 23 of you guys still there living it like crazy. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Just as we couple some of the comments. Jeff says you can't see anything. Help to have other eyes sometimes. Thank you, Jeff. And that's why I appreciate you guys being there. You guys are my extra eyes. Even though I'm wearing 4 eyes, extra eyes is always a good thing. SJ Efin, I think 5. Even though we don't have fairy dust, we do know what the restart button could do. I know. It's like the first thing when people call me and be like, did you restart the machine? Did you log off? Did you power on the machine? That's like the basic stuff. But the restart always works. Sometimes. Ben says, IT fairy dust looks and tastes a lot like Cheeto dust. Jeff says, don't forget about backups. You need to test them. Make sure it works too. Yes, good point, Jeff. If you're backing anything up, what I like to do for my 9-to-5 job, again, my 9-to-5 job is a system network administrator. I can't say that damn word today. I'm a network system admin. That's what I do 9-to-5. And one of the things that I love to do is automate. Automate is key. You know, you want to not work harder, work smarter. Anything that you do, like creating user accounts, creating email accounts, automate that stuff to the point that all you have to do is just type in the person's name, hit enter, and everything behind the scenes, the Active Directory account, their user profile, their user folder with permissions, their email account, all that stuff is automated. Work smarter, not harder, okay? And back up your stuff. I like to do is every bi-weekly or monthly, I like to test out my backups. I like to do, simulate a crash and then see how fast I can get my virtual machines. I like to test my Hyper-V virtual machine backups, my Hyper-V, my VMware virtual machines. I like to test that stuff out. I like to keep the snapshots up to date, make sure they're working correctly, make sure the snapshots are being backed up somewhere else. Backup is very important. For those individuals that are not into servers and you have a personal computer, back that bad boy up, okay? I actually have a video that I have to edit and I'm going to be pushing out for you guys pretty soon. It's about system backup. It's really easy to do. You could do it on your home computer. Create a system image backup and then create a recovery disk. Those two things will save your butt if something happens to your machine. Backup is essential, okay? Restart services on SQL and then rerun WSUS. Barry, I did that. Stop firewall services on WSUS. server to rerun. Barry, I did all that. My problem, Barry, was my DNS. My DNS for my SQL was the wrong IP address because, again, I test all this stuff out and I did a bad job. I didn't clean out my DNS entry, so that was my part. But we got it up and running, so it's good. Tony, how many here are using SQL 2016 for customers or at work? This guy right here. I'm one of them. I have about 3 machines. I have one Hyper-V, which is I have one server, which is Server 2016 running Hyper-V infrastructure. I have one machine running web services, and another Server 2016 running IIS. So I myself is using Server 2016. I haven't had any issues. I think the better processor and more memory you provide that hardware, Server 2016 will work flawless with no problem. I haven't had any issues, knock on wood. All right, so we're going to get back to it. I know you guys are talking to each other. Damn, we're going strong. Every show we go strong. So we're going to click on install. We're going to cross our fingers, and hopefully it goes well for us. We're going to hit yes for that. And we're going to get all this information. It says verify that you have a supported Microsoft SQL Server installation. Server 2014 Service Pack 2 is supported. Identify the frequent qualified domain name. I'm hoping that works out for us now. Let's click next. And we are going to, well, you can use a typical installation option for a standalone. We're not going to do that because if you click this, it's going to assume that you have a local SQL server. We don't have a local SQL server, so that's definitely not what we're going to pick. But if you have your SCCM and your SQL database in the same server, pick this and everything will get configured automatically. But if not, you have to uncheck that and choose Install Configuration Manager Primary Site. Unfortunately, you have to accept all this crap from Microsoft. If not, this next button will not appear. So we're going to click Next. And again, location. We already downloaded, so we're going to browse, and we're going inside here, 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 and Next. Boom. It's checking everything. It's verifying all the components. Again, the issue that I had in the past was either 11 or 13 was failing on me when I allowed the SCCM console to download it for me. So English, click on Next. English again, this is for the client language, and the other one was for the server language. So if you guys are wondering, and click on Next, Next on that. And the site code, this is very important because enter a unique site code by using a combination of 3 letters and numbers. This thing cannot be changed. So make sure you pick it. Make sure that's what you want. If not, you're pretty screwed. A lot of people like to use the site code as, the abbreviation of their company. So whatever company you're working in, you can abbreviate it. For the site name, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to call it BTNHD HQ SCCM site. Oh, that's sweet, right? I'm going to keep it as the default. I'm definitely want to install the Configuration Manager console within this server. Click Next. And again, it is going to point on the local server because it thinks that the SQL database is local and is not. Let's cross the fingers and see if this works. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see. This is the name of the database. I'm going to go all the way up here. I'm going to do Control F. I'm going to go into the database. Let's log into the database real quick, because I probably might have to do a flush DNS for the stuff to work. Let's log into the SQL database because I want you. I'm gonna right click on databases and I'm going to do a refresh because I don't want you guys to think that I'm doing any magical. I'm putting fairy dust and it's already there. It's not there. So, all right. So we're gonna click next. 4022 is one of the ports that we enable within our GPO. I'm hoping this works. I'm hoping. If it doesn't work, I probably might have to do what I think Big R told me to do, is do a IP. I think he told me to do an IP config flush DNS. So that's probably what I might have to do if this does not work out. Okay. All right. So we're crossing the fingers. Hopefully it works out. I know it's going to work out with the firewall because the firewall was already configured correctly within our infrastructure. I know 4022 is one of the GPO settings that I enabled for our TCP/IP. So come on, baby, work for daddy. Plus, I believe, was it Jeff? He also pointed out that I had 2 entry points within my DNS pointing to the same IP address, and I deleted that. So I only have 1 entry point pointing to the correct IP address. So I'm hoping everything works out. It's taking its sweet time. Yes! Hallelujah! That's awesome, right? All right, so I'm going to keep everything as the default and click on next on that. And this is going to be our, it's going to say specify the server where the SMS provider would be installed. The default is going to be your SCCM server, so I'm going to leave it as the default. Click on next. And this is where you are able to configure your HTTPS communication for your clients. By default, it's going to enable the HTTPS communication for your clients. It's best practice to use the hypertext protocol security to communicate between your clients. That's an extra layer for security, so leave that as default. If you're using something else, if you're using like a specific certificate, like a PKI certificate within your infrastructure, this is the option that you have to pick, and then you have to go inside the console to even configure it even more. But for now, we're going to leave it as the default as all site system roles accept only HTTPS communications from your clients. And we're going to click on next. And you're going to get this nice little warning. Yes. Hit yes on that. Now the management point is going to be installed within your SCCM as well as the first DP. These are going to be the communication. So your clients have to be configured correctly to accept this protocol. And click on next on that. We're going to click next. Server connection point setup. You can skip this now. I'm going to just do it right now, whatever. I do have internet access, so click next. Nice little summary. Now, when you click next, this is where the part when you're biting your nails, because it's going to check and make sure everything is working before. It's going to make sure that your environment is set up correctly for it to be installed. I know that I'm going to have a bunch of warnings is because the SQL database, because of the memory stuff that I didn't really configure within properties, I believe is in memory. This portion right here, you have to configure in a certain way. I am doing a write-up on this stuff to show you guys, but I left everything in the default. I think the max is 8 gigs or something. So I'm going to click next and then see what happens and see if it works out. We're going to go back into the chat. I'm going to go back into the chat because you guys chatting. Chat. Oh, Dave is leaving. Come on, Dave. Again, guys, if you're tuning in late and you have to head out, do not worry. This video is going to be posted as soon as the show is over. It's going to be posted. You guys can check it out. Again, it's a video podcast. Yeah, video podcast. You guys could catch everything, anytime, anywhere. I created a playlist that's designed just for the server room. You guys could go check it out. Once the show is over, it's going to process itself and it's going to pop up and show up. Hopefully, it's doing something. Are you doing something? Come on. Do something for me. All right, come on, do something. Oh, Chris, thank you so much. Thank you. I try very hard to have a lot of awesome videos for you guys. I try to do my best when it comes down to my reviews for laptops, my unboxings. I try my hardest. It's really tough to satisfy you guys as well as satisfy myself, because I'm really hard on myself when it comes down to recording. I'm really hard about my audio. I'm really hard on how it looks and how it feels. So I really try my hardest every day when I push out these videos for you guys. I think the only time I could be myself and I don't have to like go in and do a crap load of editing is when I'm doing the show with you guys, because this is live. I'm actually doing everything live. Because if I was doing a recording for you, you wouldn't see half of the stuff that I'm doing right now. I'd have been doing a lot of edits and cuts, and you'd have been seeing a 15-minute video with everything done, rather than seeing me like suffer because I had issues with the DNS. I had issues connecting the WSUS to our database. I had all those type of issues. And, behind the scenes, I fixed that, and I start the recording again, and I'll tell you guys, but I never show you what happened to me. But doing it live on the show, it's kind of relief, but it's just a lot of talking. It's just tiring me. It's driving me nuts a little bit. So right now it's checking. It's making sure everything is correct or doing its thing. And I want to check something out. Let's go inside the let's go inside the ADSI editor. I want to go inside system. I want to go system management. Nothing's in there yet. The only reason I'm checking something, because eventually when SCCM is installed, this SCCM management stuff are dropped in here. Some content eventually is going to be in here, but it's not in there yet because it hasn't started the installation. So let's go back in SCCM. SCCM is still checking. Ooh, it's taking its sweet time. All right, we got a question. We got a couple of questions. A couple of people who are talking to each other. I love when you guys talk to each other, respect each other. We're all here to learn. No cursing, no negativity. It's just us here hanging out, us IT guys, us geeks just hanging out, talking to each other, learning from each other. No negativity, just all positive thoughts through the live chat. And I do appreciate all you guys just being nice. So we have a couple people. We have Dave says, I built a Windows 7 reference image and realized I didn't set our corporate desktop background. What's the best way to set it using MDT? Just add a command line PowerShell script in the task sequence. Well, there's so many ways to do this. You could do a batch file, right? The batch file will copy that image during whatever desktop image that you have. We'll drop it inside the location that it needs to be inside the C drive, and then run another command to apply it to all your default users, right? Because you want whoever logs into the machine will have that desktop. You could do it that way, but you have to make sure that your bat file drops that desktop image into the default user's account. Okay, you could do it that way. You could do it with the PowerShell as well. Another way is GPO. You could do group policy. You could push the group policy to all your machines. When your users log into their machine, when they finally log into their machines, they will get the desktop already set. You could do it that way. So you have a couple of ways. It just really depends on how much work you want. Because you already built your reference image and it's already there, I would go for the GPO. Do the quick and easy and dirty way. The GPO is the easiest. You create the GPO, and when the person logs into the machine, the group policy is pushed to the machine, and they got the desktop, and then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about your task sequence and anything, because then you always have that 50-50 chance that whatever you do with your task sequence, your working task sequence, you might break it. You don't want that, right? That's like the worst case scenario. You have a working task sequence that works the way that you want it. It's seamless, it works, and then you want to modify it in some way and it breaks. If you do want to make modifications with the task sequence, I recommend recreating the task sequence, making a copy of it, and using that copy of it to do the testing. And then if it works well, then you implement it inside your the one that works, your production task sequence, right? But if you want, create a task sequence and test it out before you implement it within your production task sequences. Now you could do the GPO, PowerShell, or a batch script. Wow, this is the longest check I've ever had with this. This is crazy. What is going on? Oh my gosh. So what I want to do is I want to start the installation. I know the installation is going to take a while for it to process, but once the prerequisite check is finished, I know it's going to give me a lot of warnings. I know that off the bat, but I would like to at least see that next, so I could click on next and start the installation. And once it starts the installation, I'll probably cut the show from there, because it's already 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Damn, we're having so much fun. Here it goes. It's taking its sweet time. All right, again, like I said, I was going to have some memory issues with the database. I know that off the bat. Again, it's a lab. Best practice. You have to have a certain amount of memory within your SQL database. Right now, within my SQL database, I'm going to show you guys how much memory I got. I'm going to show you guys how much memory I got, which is really bad. Let's go inside task sequence performance. And I only got 4 gigs. That's all I have is 4 gigs. You got to have a little bit more when you're dealing with SQL database and SCCM. 8 gigs, 16 gigs is great. But, damn, it's taking so long. All right, let's go back into the comments. Dave says that's a good idea. What about setting the background during the original capture of the reference image? Original capture of the reference. Okay, you could. Well, you could do that. There's a way of doing it. Right now, I'm just talking. Right now, I'm just throwing ideas. You could actually take your captured WIM image, open it up within DSIM, open it up. Right? Then there are certain commands that you could do to take that image, deploy it to the default users. Then, because remember, the DSIM utility will mount your WIM image, and then once you finish doing what you need to do, like you take that image and you import it inside the default users, you unmount it, right? And unmount it again. It zips it inside WIM image. Then you have that image already in there, and then you could get a little technical with your task sequence, and your task sequence will have a command line that will call that desktop to be the default background. There's so many ways. There's like so many ways to do it. All right, so we're back here. Boom. So it says the following. We got 4 warnings, which is not that bad. I automatically knew that I was going to get the SQL Server memory problem. And I'm also going to have SQL memory allocation. IIS HTTPS configuration for the management point. I could actually do this later on, because again, we're using HTTPS for our clients. That's how our clients and our SCCM is going to be talking to each other. They're going to be using the HTTPS console, not console protocol. So our IIS, when we create our SCCM portal, you got to make sure that's working. So we're going to click begin, because it gave us the begin installation. Now the begin installation takes a while. I'm going to close this guy up real quick. I don't know if it's not up to the part of creating the database right away. I mean, it looks like we're good to go. It looks like it's installing. I just got really loud. I apologize for getting so damn close to the mic. I apologize for that, guys. But it looks like it's installing. Everything went well. I'm super excited. Damn, we use MDT to somewhat help us out to get SCCM up and running. Now, there's a cool thing that I kind of read up, and I got to do more research, that you could use MDT to fully install SCCM. Now, that's freaking cool. I'm going to be testing that out. I'm gonna play around with my MDT a little bit, create a task sequence that's just gonna deploy SCCM. It's gonna deploy the SQL database. It's gonna do all that during the MDT deployment time. I found a couple of sites, and I just need to test it out to see if it's, you know, durable. If it is, how fly is that? You know, you create a task sequence within your MDT that deploys everything in one shot. It deploys the server, it deploys the VM tools, it adds it to the domain, it installs the SQL database, it configures the SQL database, it installs SCCM, it configures. Oh, that'd be phenomenal. How awesome that would be. I'm definitely testing that out. I am doing my research. I'm gathering everything up to see if I'm able to maybe future show you guys how that stuff is configured. But we already got a green check mark. I know this thing is going to take a while. We got two of them. Right now it's generating the public key for SQL Server certificate. It's not up to the point of creating the database. It's okay. Let's go back to the chat room. Let's chat with you guys, because I'm about to end the show pretty soon. It looks like our SCCM is looking good. I got to end the show because, you know, I got my son in the back. He's with me, hanging out with me at the server room. I'm going to see if he can say hi to you guys. Say hi, Bernardo. Say hi, wave. There he goes. I don't know if you guys can see him, but he's been with me, hanging out with me today, hanging out with his pops. And I love him a lot. Thank you so much. But I'm not going to end it now. I'm going to spend some time with you guys in the chat room answering some questions, because you guys always have questions, always keeping me on my toes. And we're going to let that run. I'm going to maximize myself a little bit. Hey, what's up? So let's see what you guys are saying over here. All right. Let's see. Dave. Okay, so Tony says, Dave, you can use DISM to mount a WIM file and add whatever you want, just like I suggested. Awesome. So me and Tony, we're both thinking the same. Awesome. Dave says he needs a little practice with DISM. I can just inject a wallpaper into my capture image. Yeah, that's what DISM utility is. It's basically going to inject that image within your WIM image. You have to use that utility, which is within your Windows ADK stuff anyway. It's free. It's there already. You just have to use it. It basically needs to take your WIM image, and then you need to take your WIM image to point it to a folder. So it's going to unmount it. It's going to extract everything inside the WIM image, inside that folder. Then you're able to run the commands to import or inject that background. And once you complete it, you're going to unmount it, and it's going to bring it back into the WIM image. And then you take that WIM image, you import that WIM image inside your MDT operating system node, and then you create your task sequence. Okay. Tony says, I hear ya. DISM takes time, but I'm working more with it. Yes. Once you get your toes wet with DISM, you can't go back. It's like PowerShell. It's very addicting. It makes everything extremely easy. You will find yourself not using MDT a lot, because you got to understand, MDT uses DISM to do a lot of its things. Importing, creating all the task sequence and all that stuff. Not creating the task sequence. DISM is used to mounting the system when you're updating the deployment share. That's mostly where it's used for. What else? I always make a backup of the WIM file and test it out. Good. That's a great idea. Whatever you're doing with your WIM, if you have a captured WIM image, which is your golden egg, your golden image, make sure you back it up. Back it up. I know captured WIM images are they're normally big. They're normally between 8 to 10 gigs, depending how much information you stored into it. Back it up before you even do any type of modifications with it, okay? Keep a nice, clean copy of it. Ben says, sure, how much Bernardo does for these videos. I learned so much from these. I appreciate it, Ben. I put a lot of work to these videos. It's very stressful. I I can't believe I don't have white here as of yet. With all the craziness that I've done behind the scenes to get everything up and running and making sure stuff is working. There's always hiccups, but you know, us IT admins always have to deal with hiccups. So that's one of the greatest things that I enjoy a lot, is getting those hiccups and learning from those hiccups and making me stronger, because when you're learning from that stuff, then I can show you guys if I have a problem, I'm definitely going to make a video out of it and show and tell you guys, hey, I did this, this is what happened to me. This is the error that I got and this is how I fixed it. All right? So it looks like we are in the it looks like SCCM is at the SQL Server database part. So I'm going to refresh the database right now, see if we see anything. Oh, there goes our config management BTN was the site code that I gave it, but it's creating it. Oh, it feels so sexy. I feel so sexy. Awesome. Oh, this is so awesome. I feel so great when stuff is working out. I'm telling you. And you guys probably saying, I didn't see what you just did. I do apologize and bring it back. So what I just did was I just refreshed the database, and CM_BTN. BTN was a site code that I gave it during the SCCM installation, which is your site code, right? CM basically means configuration management, and it's creating itself. It's at the portion right now that is setting up and setting all the tables and all the views that it needs to work properly. I think this is the last thing. I'm assuming it's the last thing. But we're looking good. I know I wanted to end the stream, but we're looking so good, man. We're looking good. We're close. I would love to open up the console with you guys. So let's go back. Let's go back over here. Chris say BJ is 2016 good. Server 2016 is, for me, so far a good operating system. I have Server 2016 within my day-to-day job. I have it already on 3 servers. I haven't had any issues with it, knock on wood. I am running a database on it. I am running a web server on it. I am running something else and I forgot. Just went complete blank. I am planning to upgrade my file share to Server 2016. Oh, and the other server that I'm running is Hyper-V. I am running Hyper-V with Server 2016 too. And that works really well. I really like the features that 2016 has for Hyper-V. Awesome. Big R, can you use a self-signed certificate instead of a PKI? Yes, you can. You could use a self-signed certificate. The only problem is, I think with the PKI certificate as well, is just of how you're going to be pushing out the self-signed certificate to your users on the floor. I've seen several ways of doing it. One way that I've seen a lot is through GPO. You're pushing out the certificate through a GPO. Or you could actually create a package within the SCCM and push it out, or your MDT, and there's many ways. But you are able to create and use a self-signed certificate. Tony says, Ben, he has been a huge help for me. What a great guy, and people like you will chime in here. Cool group of nerds. Yeah, you guys are a great group of people. Probably heard my son right now in the background. He's over here playing. Got to be a father and a tech nerd at the same time, but I'm loving every minute of it. Again, right now we got a bunch of greens. It's in the step of installing the SQL database. The container or our database, it's within our SQL Server, which is great. I'm assuming it's taking a sweet time because there's a crap load of tables and information that it needs to create, but our database is there, man. It's awesome. So I'm gonna give it, let's say you guys want to give it maybe 5 more minutes. Let's give it 5 more minutes counting right now. So it's 5:13. So at 5:18, actually let's do 5:20. At 5:20 we're gonna end the show. So if you guys have anything to tune, you have any comments or feedback or anything, leave it at the live chat. If you guys leave any requests, I know a lot of you, I jotted a couple of things like you want me to touch base on Sccm Logs. You want me to do an explain video. So I'm definitely going to touch base on that. But you got to let me know, is it all the logs that you want me to touch base? Are there specific logs that you're interested? Let me know. But don't let me know at the live chat because the live chat disappears. Make sure you come back to the channel and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment underneath this show, okay? Because then the comments are there forever, and then I'm able to go back and export the comments and follow up with you guys. And the next thing that I wrote was manage and create DPs, distribution points, for multiple sites within SCCM. So those are the two things that I grabbed so far within the live chat. I mean, a lot of you guys have been chatting. Again, I don't have a feature to export the stuff out. But if you wait until this video is over and it's processed and it pops up at the site, leave your comments there because they're going to be there. But we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait 5 more minutes. It's 5:15 right now. We're gonna end the show at 5:20. Again, if you have anything to ask or share, shoot me right now at the chat. I'm getting extremely hungry. As soon as this show is over, I'm going to go take my son out to eat. And we're gonna get out of here because it's crazy up in here. I mean, these shows are going strong. Straight 2 hours, just going crazy, just learning all kinds of crazy stuff. I thought I was gonna finish this in an hour, and that was nuts. I definitely couldn't finish all this in an hour. But we got a lot done. I mean, we got a lot done. The majority of the stuff that I placed at the bottom of the video, like the nice little legend of what we're going to do, I think we took care of everything. We did the SQL package, the ADK 1703 package. I gave you all those commands so you guys could tweak it. We installed 2 virtual machines using our reference server 2016. We installed SQL data. We installed SQL within MDT deployment. We installed ADK within the deployment. We did a lot today. Holy crap. It's awesome. I'm hungry right now. Yeah, so we have 4 more minutes. 4 more minutes until we end this. It's still setting up the SQL Server database. This guy is going to take forever. I'm going to bring my big face back up. Bring the curlies. Bring the curlies back up. So Barry says it's 10 p.m. Saturday night UK, and I am still watching. Very relevant to me. Oh, thank you so much. It brings, I don't know. I'm speechless for those individuals that tune in and watch me. It gets me watery. I get all sentimental because I do appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm already getting. I'm about to cut the feed right now because I'm getting the waterworks are starting. But again, guys, I appreciate you guys, the support, the feedback. Sometimes the feedback is negative, sometimes it's positive. I accept anything because negative or positive, it just makes me stronger. This channel is for you guys. I do everything for you guys. Okay, the hard work that I do every single time with these videos is for you, not for me. Don't get me wrong, I do make a little bit of money. I don't make a crap load of money, not like these YouTubers out here, but this money that the money that I get from my channel, I buy servers, I buy things that will build my infrastructure and make it, make it to the point that I'm able to do more for you guys, man. I would love to do some hyper threading, do some RAID, do some switches. I need to get some Cisco switches, and we could do like a live show of configuring a switch. I would love to do all that stuff, and we're gonna get there. Eventually, we're gonna get there, slowly but surely. I'm gonna build the channel. I'm gonna build BTNHD slowly, and we're gonna get there, man. And because of you guys' support and everything, we're gonna do this together. But we're gonna do it together, and we're gonna learn together, right? So before I end it, we got 2 more minutes. We're going strong. Damn database is just taking forever. This is usual. This is normal. You don't have to worry. As long as you see the database within your SQL Server, that's a good thing. The problem is that SCCM has a crap load of tables, and it has a lot of views, and it's just a lot. So this process normally takes a while. But I'm happy that I got a bunch of greens. I'm just waiting for this to finish. I think on the next show, hopefully in the next show next week, I don't know. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to do episode 7 next week. I might have to take a day off. But if I don't take a day off, we're gonna continue this a little bit and do something extra. I'm working with Linux, and I would definitely want to do. I'm gonna try on the next show do a little bit of Linux server, creating a file share system within the Linux environment. And within my infrastructure, I already have a Linux resource pool, and I've been playing around with CentOS. So I'm trying to work on that. I would love to do a show with Linux, because it's not all about Windows, you know. Linux is heavily used. Like I have a couple of sites that I've used Linux for file shares and print servers, and they work extremely well. So I would love to do the next video dealing with building a Linux server and creating a RAID system using FDisk, GDisk, partitioning your drives in specific ways, doing all that stuff. So those are my plans for the next show. Hopefully in the next show for next week. But it's already 5:20 and it's still going. I'm about 99.9% sure that it should go with no problem. It's always that 1%. But I'm extremely happy. Everything was successful. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And thank you again. For those individuals that are leaving requests, make sure to stop by again once this video is completed and leave a comment at the video, at the comment section, because the live chat stuff disappears and I won't see it. And again, I love you guys. Thank you as always, and I catch you guys on the next show, hopefully next week. If not, make sure that you guys follow me everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google Plus. Follow me everywhere, because if something happens to me next week and I can't make it, I will shoot a tweet or status to all of it, and you guys will be updated right away. Thank you so much, guys, and catch you on the next one. Peace out. All right, how you end this? All right, bye.